number 4 now. Hey, it's number 4. Stan is flying from New York to Chicago, but he has to make an emergency landing in Pittsburgh, which divides his trip in a ratio of 1 to 3. What are the coordinates of the airport in Pittsburgh? So a couple of little things I want to talk about with this formula you need to understand. First thing is, it's really important you know where you're starting and where you're finishing. And the second thing is this business with the ratio. In fact, let's start with the business of the ratio. As soon as you see that ratio in there, that tells you need to use the locate a point formula. The locate a point formula works like this. You say that located x I'm looking for is equal to x1 plus a over a plus b times x2 minus x1. And then you do the same thing afterwards for the y's, which I'll crunch for you later on. So knowing where you're starting and where you're finishing is really important, and this business of the a over a plus b is really important. So let me just explain to you quickly what it means. The ratio of 1 to 3 means, if you think about that, it means you're stopping in Pittsburgh at a place that cuts this line segment in 1 part to 3 parts. So in other words, the total number of parts here would be 4. 4 spots between, let's say, Chicago and New York. And roughly that's going to look something like that. And the place that he stops divides this line segment in a ratio of 1 part to 3 parts. So you can see it as this, 1 part to 3 parts. So I've kind of estimated it as being right about there. Now, the ratio changes. Over here, this would be 3 parts to 1 remaining part. I've freehand drawn it. It's not accurate, but it gives you a sense of what we're looking for. That's Pittsburgh. So it's 1 to 3, which is a fraction of 1/4. You'll see in a minute. I'm 1/4 of the way. In this case, I did from Chicago. Now, there's a problem if you do that, because the problem says he flew from New York. And so you got to be very careful about how you set that ratio up. So really, from New York, there's the 1 part from New York. 1, 2, and 3 parts. So here you can see the 4 parts. And that would be where Pittsburgh is if I left from New York. So where we start and where we're going really, really matters. This is where Pittsburgh would be if I left from New York and it divided it in a ratio of 1 to 3. And this is where Pittsburgh would be if I left from Chicago and it divided it in a ratio of 1 to 3. Now, Pittsburgh can't be in 2 places. It's got to be one or the other. So we have to look at the question. The question says from New York. So from New York, that's my P1. That's where I'm going to start. P2 is where I'm going. And that PL is the one that I'm looking for right there. Not that guy. So we're going to find him. To do that, we need an X1 and an L1. Sorry, an X1 and a Y1 and an X2 and a Y2. And after that, it's just a matter of crunching the formula. Very important you know that that's the starting point. So the located X I'm looking for, XL, the X that I want, is X1, 752, plus A over A plus B. That's going to change this ratio into a fraction. A is always the first number in the fraction. If I've got a 1 to 3, that's the A and that's the B. So that's going to be a 1 over 1 plus 3 times X2, negative 892, minus 752. And close those brackets off. And that's going to give us the X of Pittsburgh. So I just plugged in the numbers. I'm going to take a second to simplify, and then I'm going to show you a cool calculator trick. 752 plus. Now that's 1 over 4. So there's the fraction, 1/4. He flew 1/4 of the way from New York to Chicago. And there's your 4 pieces. 1 to 3 is 1/4 of the way. So 1/4 of. Now I need to get a number here. Negative 892 minus 752. Trust me on this one, because I just did it before. Negative 1,644. So I went negative 892 minus 752. I get this. Now a lot of people here don't know what to do. So just remember order of operations. 752. I'm going to take this whole thing right now. I'm going to change it into one number on my calculator. Here's how I do it. 1 divided by 4. So that's equal to that. Now you don't need to write this down because right away you're going to multiply it by whatever you've simplified inside those brackets times 1644 negative, don't forget the negative, equals. So XL is equal to 752 plus negative 411. There's my negative 411 plus my 752. And there's your X for Pittsburgh, 341. So we know that that's 341 comma something. Got to get the Y. So same as before, Y1 plus A over A plus B times Y2 minus Y1. The Y1, come back up to the top. Y1 right there, New York, negative 81 plus 1 over 1 plus 3. We know what that's going to be. It's going to be 1/4, but we'll write it in just for the sake of being accurate. And then Y2 minus Y1. Y2, if you look up at the top where Chicago is, 671 minus negative 81. Got to be careful there. 671 minus negative 81. I like those brackets around the negatives, always negative numbers. Makes your life easier. Negative 81 plus 1 over 4 times. Okay, so we're going to do a quick calculation here. 671 minus negative 81 is equal to 752. Now on your calculator, you're going to go this divided by this times that and get a number. So 1 divided by 4, it equals, times that by 752, it equals, that gives you 188, so negative 81 plus 188 is what I got there when I did that simplification. 188 plus, there's the negative 81 being added, and you get 107. And that's the location of the Y. So if you come back up here, the Y is 107. So we fill in our answer over here, and we get 341 for the X and 107 for the Y, and that is the location of Pittsburgh, which divides it in a ratio of 1 part to 3 parts if I'm leaving from New York. Super simple once you get the pieces down and you know what to plug where. One more to go.